and welcome to this second look exploring session of Jacob and Esau. It's a fun comedy we looked at a long time ago for a first look, which we did stopping and starting. Now we're going to be taking the text at pace for this second look, running the first half, approximately the action, acts 1 and 2, in one go, and then pausing, and then we're going to do the same for the second half, and then hopefully we may we'll make a decision as to what we do next, but hopefully we'll come back and run the whole thing with a bit more performance going on, and more of a Zoom production, or at least moving in that general direction, to continue our journey and finding out how this text operates. So today it's all about pace and energy, and reintroducing this play to effectively an entirely new set of readers. Because in fact, as it turns out, over the course of a year and at a different time of day, oddly enough, we have totally different readers from the last time we looked at this play. So for pretty much everyone in this room, this is a new experience. But hopefully, we will build on all the experience that we've had gathered together so far. So today, reading Jacob is...
Hi, I'm Eric, and I'm ready to wrestle for my not birthright.
Yes, reading Esau today is...
Hello, I'm Dan. I'm an actor hailing today from Philadelphia.
Reading Isaac is...
Alan Scott, based in Suffolk.
Reading Rebecca is...
Hello, I'm Lynn. I'm in the northwestern United States.
Reading Ragan is...
Briony, Sparrow, and I'm in Lincolnshire in the UK.
Reading Mido is...
Hello, Helen Good, and I'm in London.
And reading Zethar today is...
Hi, Elizabeth Amisu, based in Romford.
And reading Hanan and Abra is...
Rachael, Nicole, actor on the East Coast.
And I'm your host, Robert Crighton. I will be reading nothing at all. In fact, I'm going to be primarily going through the text and hunting for any errors that have not, as of yet, through all our various processes, been picked up upon. So this is going to be the last, hopefully, you will hear from me for the next hour and a bit, as we dive into the first couple of acts of Jacob and Esau. There's only one part that I haven't handed out, and I'm going to hand it out now because I totally forgot to actually give out a prologue. There's a prologue to this play, and I forgot to give it to anyone. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So, Elizabeth, would you read the prologue with absolutely no notice whatsoever, which is not the point of these sessions at all? I am so sorry. I'm going to shut up now and let the play take its course.
In the book of Genesis, it is expressed that when God to Abraham made sure promise that in his seed all nations should be blessed, to send him a son by Sarah he did not miss. Then to Isaac, as there recorded it is, by Rebekah his wife, who had long time been barren, when pleased him at one birth he sent sons twain. But before Jacob and Esau yet born were, or had either done good or ill perpetrate, as the prophet Malachi and Paul witness bear, Jacob was chosen and Esau reprobate. Jacob I love, saith God, and Esau I hate. For it is not, saith Paul, in man's renewing or will, but in God's mercy, who chooseth whom he will. But now for our coming we shall exhibit here of Jacob and Esau how the story was, whereby God's adoption may plainly appear, and also that, whatever God's ordinance was, nothing might defeat, but that it must come to pass, that, if this story may your eyes or ears delight, we pray you of patience while we it recite.
Now, let me see what time it is by the starlight. God's for his grace, man, why is it not yet midnight? We might have slept these 4 hours yet, I dare well say, but this is our good Esau, his common play. What the devil aileth him? Now truly I think plain, he hath either some worms or bots in his brain. He scarcely sleepeth 12 good hours in 2 weeks. I wot well his watching maketh me have lean cheeks, for there is none other life him by day. But up, Ragan, up, drowsy hogshead, I say. Why, when? Up! Will it not be? Up! I come anon. Up, or I shall rise you in faith, ye drowsy whoreson. Why, when? Shall I fetch you? I come, sir, by and by. Up with a wild wanion. How long wilt thou lie? Up, I say. Up at once. Up, let us go hence. It is time we were in the forest an hour since. Now the devil stop that same yawling throat, think I, some whiles, from the call farewell, all wink of eye. Begin he once to call, I sleep no more that stound, though half an hour's sleep were worth £10,000. Anon, when I come in, and bid him good morrow, ah, sir, up at last, the devil give thee sorrow. Now the devil break thy neck, think I, by and by, that hast no wit to sleep, nor in thy bed to lie. Then come on at once, take my quiver and my bow, fet Lovell my hand and my horn to blow. Then forth we go, fasting an hour or two ere day, and before we may well see either our hands or way, and there range we the wild forest, no crumb of bread, from morning to stark night coming within our head. Sometimes Esau's self will faint for drink and meat, so that he will be glad of a dead horse to eat. Yet afresh the next morrow forth he will again, and sometime not come home in a whole night or twain. Nor no delight he hath, no appetite nor mind, but to the wild forest to hunt the hart or hind, the roebuck, the wild boar, the fallow deer or hare. But how Ragan shall dine, he hath no care. Poor I must eat acorns or berries from the tree. But if I be found slack in the suit following, or if I do fail in blowing or hallooing, or if I lack my staff or my horn by my side, he will be quick enough to fume, chafe, and chide. Am I not well at ease, such a master to serve, as must have such service, and yet will let me starve? But in faith, his fashions displease more than me, and will have but a mad end one day, we shall see. He passeth nothing on Rebecca his mother, and much less passeth he on Jacob his brother. But peace, mum, no more. I see Master Esau.
How now? Are we all ready, servant Ragan? Art thou up for all day, man? Art thou ready now?
I have been here this half hour, sir, waiting for you.
And is all thing ready, as I bade to my mind?
Ye have no cause that I know any fault to find, except that we disease our tent and neighbours all with rising over early each day when ye call.
How drowsy dropsack! Wouldst thou rise at noon? Nay, I trow the 6th hour with thee were over soon.
Nay, I speak of your neighbours, being men honest, that labour all the day and would fain be at rest, whom with blowing your horn ye disease all about.
What care I for waking a sort of clubbish louts?
And I speak of Rebecca your mother, our dame.
Heart I pass not, whether she do me praise or blame.
And I speak of your good father, old Isaac.
These foolish knave. As for my father Isaac, in case he be asleep, I do him not disease. And if he be waking, I know I do him please, for he loveth me well from my nativity. I never so as now for mine activity, therefore have at it. Once more will I blow my horn to give my neighbor louts and hail peal in the morn. Now, my master Lightfoot, how say you to this gear? Will you do your duty to red or fallow deer? And swan, my own good cur, I do think in my mind the game shall run apace if thou come far behind. Take paw. Come, take paw here. I say you, child, will not thou do thy part? Yes, as I am beguiled, but I shoot your cheeks. They have had too much meat.
I blame not dogs to take it if they may get it, but as for my part, they could have pardey, a small remnant of that ye give me. They may run light enough for aught of me they got. I had not a good meal's meat this week that I wot.
If we have luck this day to kill hare, teg, or doe, thou shalt eat thy bellyful till thou criest, ho!
I thank you when I have it, Master Esau.
Now, come on, let us go now, servant Ragan. Is there anything more that I should say or do? Perhaps we come not again this day or two.
I know nothing, master. To God I make a vow, except you would take your brother Jacob with you. I never yet saw him with you and hunting go. Shall we prove him once whether he will go or no?
No, that were in vain, alas, good simple mome. Nay, he must tarry and suck mother's dog at home. Jacob must keep home, I trow, under mother's wing, to be from the tents he loveth not of all thing. Jacob loveth no hunting in the wild forest, and would fear if he should there see any wild beast. Yea, to see the game run, Jacob would be in fear.
In good sooth, I ween he would think each hare a bear.
What, brother mine, what a word call ye that?
Sir, I am scarce waked. I spake ere I wist what.
Come on your ways, my child. Take the law of the game. I will wake you, I trow, and set your tongue in frame.
Oh, what have you done, Master Esau? God's apes.
Why can ye not yet refrain from letting such scapes? Come on, ye must have 3 jerks for the knots. 1.
Oh, for God's love, sir, I've done. Dispatch at once.
Yea, there's no remedy but bide it. There's a twain.
Oh, ye rent my cheverel. Let me be past my pain.
Take heed of hunting terms, Fro, henceforth. There is 3.
Whoop! Now a mischief on all moping fools for me. Jacob shall keep the tents 10 year for Ragan, ere I move again that he hunt with Esau.
Come, well now let us go. God send us game and luck, and if my hands serve me well,
ye will kill a duck.
Ah, sir, I see I am an early man this morn. I am once more beguiled with Esau his horn. But there is no such stir as Esau is. He is up day by day before the crow piss. Then maketh he with his horn such tooing and blowing, and with his wide throat such shouting and hallooing, that no neighbor shall in his tent take any rest, from Esau addresseth him to the forest. So that he maketh us, whether we will or no, bitter husbands than we would be, abroad to go, each of us about our business and our work. But whom do I see yonder coming in the dark? It is my neighbor Zethar. I perceive him now.
What, neighbor Hanan? Well met. Good morrow to you. I see well now I am not beguiled alone. But what boot to lie still? For rest we can take none, that I marvel much of old Father Isaac, being so godly a man, why he is so slack to bring his son Esau to a better stay.
What should he do in the matter, I you pray?
Oh, it is no small charge to fathers afore God, so to train their children in youth under the rod, that when they come to age they may virtue ensue, wicked pranks abhor, and all lewdness eschew. And methinketh Isaac, being a man as he is, a chosen man of God, should not be slack in this.
Alack, good man, what should he do more than he hath done? I dare say no father hath better taught his son, nor no two have given better example of life unto their children, that both he and his wife, as by their younger son Jacob it doth appear. He liveth no loose life, he doth God love and fear. He keepeth here in the tents like a quiet man. He giveth not himself to wildness anywhen, but Esau, evermore from his young childhood, hath been like to prove ill, and never to be good. Young it pricketh, folks do say, that will be a thorn. Esau hath been naught ever since he was born. And whereof cometh this? Of education? Nay, it is of his own ill inclination. They were brought up both under one tuition, but they be not both of one disposition. Esau is given to loose and lewd living.
In faith, I warrant him to have but shrewd thriving.
Neither see I any hope that he will amend.
Then let him even look to come to an ill end. For youth that will follow none but their own bridle, that leadeth a dissolute life and an idle, youth that refuseth wholesome documents, or to take examples of their godly parents, youth that is wretchless and taketh no regard what become of him of themselves, nor which end go forward. It is great marvel and a special grace, if ever they come to goodness all their life space. But why do we consume this whole morning in talk of one that hath no reck nay care what way he walk? We had been as good to have kept our bed still.
Oh, it is our part to lament that them that do ill. Like as very nature a godly heart doth move, others' good proceedings to tender and to love, so such as in no wise to goodness will be brought. What good man but will mourn, since God us all hath wrought, but ye have some business, and so have I.
And we have been long. Farewell, neighbour, heartily.
Come forth, son Jacob, why tarriest thou behind?
Forsooth, mother, I thought ye had said all your mind.
Nay, come, I have a word or two yet to say.
Whatsoever pleaseth you, speak to me, ye may.
Seeing thy brother Esau is such an one, why rebukest thou him not when you are alone? Why dost thou not give him some good, sad, wise counsel?
He lacketh not that, mother, if it would avail, but when I do him anything of his faults tell, he calleth me foolish, proud boy with him to mell. You will sometime demand by what authority I presume to teach them, which mine elders be. You will sometime ask, if I learn of my mother to take on me, teaching of mine elder brother. Sometime when I tell him of his lewd behavior, he will lend me a mock or twain for my labor, and sometime for anger he will out with his purse and call me as please him, and swear he will do worse.
Oh Lord, that to bear such a son it was my chance.
Mother, we must be content with God's ordinance.
Or if I should need have Esau to my son, would God thou, Jacob, hadst the eldership won?
Mother, it is too late to wish for that is past. It will not be done now. Wish ye never so fast. And I would not have you to wish against God's will, for both it is in vain, and so it is ill.
Why did it not please God that thou shouldst as well tread upon his crown as hold him fast by the heel?
Whatsoever mystery the Lord therein meant must be referred to his unsearched judgment, and whatsoever he hath appointed me unto, I am his own vessel, his will with me to do.
Well, some strange thing therein of God intended was.
And what he hath decreed must sure come to pass.
I remember when I had you both conceived, a voice thus saying from the Lord I received, Rebekah, in thy womb are now two nations. of unlike natures and contrary fashions, that one shall be a mightier people elect, and the other to the younger shall be subject. I know this voice came not to me of nothing, therefore thou shalt follow my counsel in one thing.
So be it be not displeasing to the Lord, I must.
I fear the Lord eke, who is merciful and just, and loath would I be to his majesty to offend. But by me I doubt not to work he doth intend. Assay, if thou canst at some one time or other, to buy the right of eldership from thy brother. Do thou buy the birthright that to him doth belong, so mayst thou have the blessing and do him no wrong. What thou hast once bought is thine own of due right.
Mother Rebecca, if withouten fraud I might, I would your advice put in ear with all my heart. But I may not attempt such guileful part. To buy my brother's eldership and his birthright, I fear would be a great offence in God's sight. Which thing I wish, if I wished to redeem, I nay would, no, though I might get thereby 10 millions of gold.
God, who by his word and all-mightful decree hath appointed thee, Esau, his lord to be, hath appointed some way to have it brought about. And this is the way. My sprite doth not doubt.
Upon your word, mother, I will essay ere long, yet it grudgeth my heart to do my brother wrong.
Thou shalt do no wrong, son Jacob, on my peril.
Then by God's leave, once essay I will.
Then farewell, dear son, God's blessing and mine with thee.
I will again to the tent. Well you be.
Ah, my sweet son Jacob, good fortune God thee send, the most gentle young man alive as God me mend, and the most natural to father and mother. Oh, that such a meek spirit were in thy brother, or thy sire loved thee as thou hast merited, and then should Esau soon be disinherited.
Where art thou, my boy Mido? When do I do thee lack?
Who calleth Mido? When I do thee lack? Good good Master Isaac.
Come, lead me forth of doors a little, I thee pray.
Lay your hand on my shoulder and come on this way.
Now, O Lord of heaven, the fountain of all grace, if it be thy good will that my will shall take place, send success to Jacob according to thy word, that his elder brother may serve him as his Lord.
Sir, whither would he go now that abroad ye be?
To wife Rebecca.
Yonder I do her see.
Lord, thou knowest Jacob to be thy servant true, and Esau all froward thy ways to ensue.
Yonder is she speaking. Whatever she doth say, by holding up her hands, it seemeth she doth pray.
Where be ye, wife Rebecca? Where be ye, woman?
Who is it that calleth? Isaac, my good man.
Where be ye, wife Rebecca? Let me understand.
She cometh to you apace.
Here, my lord, at hand.
Saving that whatsoever doth is all right, no small grief it were for man to lack his sight. But what the Lord doth send or work by his high will
cannot but be the best. No such thing can be ill.
All bodily punishment or infirmity, with all mains of nature, whate'er they be, yea, and all other afflictions temporal, as loss, persecution, or troubles mortal, are nothing but a trial or probation. And what is he that firmly trusteth in the Lord, or steadfastly believeth his promise and word, and knoweth him to be the God omnipotent, that feedeth and governeth all that he hath sent, protecting his faithful in every degree, and then to them to relieve in all their necessity? What creature, I say, that doth this understand, will not take all thing in good heart at God's hand? Shall we at God's hand receive prosperity, and not be content likewise with adversity? We ought to be thankful, whate'er God doth send, and ourselves wholly to his will to commend.
So should it be. And I thank you, my Lord Isaac. Such daily lessons at your hand I do not lack.
Why then should I not thank the Lord, if it please him, that I shall now be blind, and my sight wax all dim? For whoso to old age will here live and endure, must of course abide all such defaults of nature.
Why? Must I be blind too, if I be an old man? How shall I grope the way? Or who shall lead me then?
If the Lord have appointed thee such old days to see, he will also provide that shall be meet for thee.
I trow, if I were blind, I could go well enow. I could grope the way thus, and go as I do now. I have done so ere now, both by day and by night, as I see you grope the way, and have hit it right.
Yea, sir boy, will ye play any such childish knack as to counterfeit your blind master Isaac? That is but to mock him for his impediment.
Nay, I never did it in any such intent.
Nay, it is to tempt God before thou have need, whereby thou mayest provoke him in very deed, with some great misfortune of plague to punish thee.
Then I will never more do so while I may see. But against I be blind, I will be so perfect that though no man lead me, I will go at midnight.
Now, wife, touching the purpose that I sought for you,
What saith my Lord Isaac to his handmaid now?
ye have oft in covert words been right earnest to have me grant unto you a boon and request. But ye never told me yet plainly what it was. Therefore I have ever yet let the matter pass. And now of late, by oft being from me absent, I have half suspected you to be scarce content. But, wife Rebecca, I would not have you to mourn, as though I did your honest petition scorn. For I never meant to deny in all my life any lawful or honest request to my wife. But in case it be a thing unreasonable, then must I needs be to you intractable. Now therefore say on, and tell me what is your case.
I would, if I were sure in your heart to find grace, else, sir, I would be loath.
To speak, do not refrain, and if it be reasonable, ye shall obtain. Otherwise, ye must pardon me, gentle sweet wife.
Sir, ye know your son Esau, and see his life, how loose it is, and how stiff he is and stubborn, how reckless he doth himself misgovern. He giveth himself to hunting out of reason, and serveth the Lord and us at no time or season. These conditions cannot be acceptable in the sight of God, nor to men allowable. Now his brother Jacob, your younger son and mine, doth more apply his heart to seek the ways divine. He liveth here quietly at home in the tent. There is no man nor child, but is with him content.
O wife, I perceive ye speak of affection. To Jacob ye bear love, and to his brother none.
Indeed, sir, I cannot love Esau so well as I do Jacob, in the plain truth to you to tell. For I have no comfort in Esau, God wot. I scarce know whether I have a son of him or not. He goeth abroad so early before daylight, and returneth home again so late in the night. And unless I set eye on him in a whole week, no, sometimes not in twain, though I do for him seek. And all the neighbors see him as seldom as I. But when they would take rest, they hear him blow and cry. Some see him so seldom, they ask if he be sick. Sometimes some demand whether he be dead or quick. But to make a short tale, such his conditions be, that I wish of God that he had ne'er been born of me.
Well, wife, I love Esau, and must for causes twain.
Surely your love is bestowed on him in vain.
First, active he is, as any young man can be, and many a good morsel he bringeth home to me. Then he is mine eldest, first begotten son.
If God were so pleased, I would that were fordone.
And the eldest son is called the father's might.
If yours rest in Esau, God give us good night.
A prerogative he hath in everything.
More pity he should have it without deserving.
Of all the goods his portion is greater.
That the worthy should have it, I think, much better.
Among his brethren he hath the preeminence.
Where Esau is chief, there is gay presence.
Over his brethren he is sovereign and lord.
Such dignity in Esau doth ill accord.
He is the head of the father's succession.
I would Esau had lost that possession.
And he hath the chief title of inheritance.
Wisdom would in Esau change that ordinance.
To the eldest son is due the father's blessing.
That should be Jacob's if I might have my wishing.
And the chief endowment of the father's substance.
Which will thrive well in Esau in his governance.
By title of eldership he hath his birthright.
And that would I remove to Jacob if I might.
He must have double portion to another.
That were more fit for Jacob, his younger brother.
In all manner of things divided by a rate.
Well given goods to him that the Lord doth hate.
Why say ye so of Esau, mine eldest son?
I say true, if he proceedeth, he hath begun.
Is he not your son too, as well as he is mine? Wherefore do ye then against him thus sore repine?
Because that in my spirit verily I know God will set up Jacob and Esau down throw. I have showed you many a time ere this day that the Lord of them being in my womb did say, I use not for to lie, and I believe certain that the Lord spake not these words to me in vain. And Jacob it is, I know, in whom the Lord will his promise to you made and your seed fulfill.
I doubt not his promise made to me and my seed, leaving to his conveyance how it shall proceed. The Lord, after his way, may change the inheritance, but I may not wittingly break our ordinance.
Now would God I could persuade my lord Isaac Jacob to prefer and Esau to put back.
I may not do it, wife. I pray you be content. The title of birthright that cometh by descent, or the place of eldership coming by due course, I may not change nor shift for better nor for worse. Nature's law it is, the eldest son to knowledge, and in no wise to bar him of his heritage. And ye shall of Esau one day have comfort.
Set a good long day then, or else we shall come short.
I warrant you he will do well enough at length.
You must needs commend him, being your might and strength.
Well, now go we hence, little Mido. Where art thou?
I have stood here all this while, listening how you and my Dame Rebecca have been laying the law. But she hath as quick answers as ever I saw. Ye could not speak anything unto her so thick, but she had her answer as ready and as quick.
Yea, woman's answers are but few times to seek.
But I did not see Esau, neither, all this same week. Nor do I love your son Esau so well as I do love your son Jacob, by a great deal.
No, dost thou, Mido? And tell me the cause why.
Why? For I do not, and none other cause know I. But everybody, as well one as another, do wish that Jacob had been the elder brother.
Well, come on, let us go.
And who shall lead you? I?
No, it is my office as long as I am by, and I would all wives, as the world this day is, would unto their husbands likewise do their office.
Why, Dame Rebecca, then all wedded men should be blind.
What, thou foolish lad, no such thing was in my mind.
I've heard it oft, but now I feel a wonder in what grievous pain they die that die for hunger. Oh, my greedy stomach, how it doth bite and gnaw! If I were a rack, I could eat hay or straw. Mine empty guts do fret, my maw doth even tear. Would God I had a piece of some horse bread here. Yet is Master Esau in worse case than I. If he have not some meat, the sooner he will die. He hath sunk for faintness twice or thrice by the way, and not one seely bit we got since yesterday. All that ever he hath, he would have given today, to have had but 3 morsels his hunger to allay, or in the field to have met with some hogs. I could scarcely keep him from eating of these dogs. He hath sent me afore some meat for to provide, and cometh creeping after, scarce able to stride. But if I know where to get of any man, for to ease mine own self, as hungry as I am, I pray God I stink. But if any come to me, die who die will, for sure I will first served be. I will see if any be ready here at home, or whether Jacob have any, that peakish mome. But first I must put all my dogs up, and lay up this gear, and then God send us to the cup.
A grievous pain is hunger to a man. Take all that I have for meat, help who that can. Lord, some good body, for God's sake, give me meat. I force not what it were, so that I had to eat. Meat or drink, save my life, or bread, I reck not what. If there be nothing else, some man, give me a cat. If any good body on me will do so much cost, I will tear and eat her raw. She shall ne'er be roast. I promise of honesty, I will eat her raw. And what a naughty I was, and a wholesome door to let Ragan go with all my dogs at once. A shoulder of a dog were now meat for the nonce. What shall I do? My teeth I could scarcely charm from gnawing away the brawn of my very arm. I can no longer stand for faint. I must needs lie, and except meat comes soon. Let me do this, I die. And where art thou, Ragan, whom I sent before? Unless thou come at once, I never see thee more. Where art thou, Ragan? I hear not of thee yet.
Here, as fast as I can, but no meat can I get, not one draught of drink, not one poor morsel of bread, not one bit or crumb, though I should straightway be dead. Therefore ye may now see how much ye are to blame, that will thus starve yourself for following your game.
Come, thou villain, tellest thou me this now? If I had thee, I would eat thee, to God I vow. Ah, meat! Thou whoreson, why hast thou not brought me some meat?
Would you have me bring you that? I can nowhere get.
Come hither. Let me tell thee a word in thine ear.
Nay, speak out loud, I will not come a foot near. For ye to snatching at folks, adieu, I'm gone.
Nay, for God's love, Ragan, leave me not alone. I will not eat thee, Ragan, so God me help.
No, I shall desire you to choose some other whelp. Being in your best lust, I would topple with ye, and pluck a good crow ere ye break your fast with me. What? Are you manking now? I reckon it best, to bind your hands behind you, even as you lie.
Nay, have mercy on me, let me not perish.
In faith, naught could I get, wherewith you to cherish.
Is there nothing to be had among so many?
I could not find one but Jacob that had any, and no grant would he make for aught that I could say. Yet no man alive with fairer words could him pray. But the best red pottage he hath that e'er was.
Go, pray him, I may speak with him at once ere I pass.
That message by God's grace shall not be long undone.
Hie thee, go apace, and return again soon. If Jacob had due brotherly compassion, he will not see me faint after this fashion. But I dare say the wretch had rather see me thrust than he would find in his heart to do so much cost. For where is between one fremen and another less love found than now between brother and brother? Will Jacob come forth to show comfort unto me? A whoreson hypocrite will as soon hanged be. Yet, peace, methinketh Jacob is coming indeed, and my mind giveth me at his hand I shall speed. For he is gentle and loving as can be, as full of compassion and pity. But let me see, doth he come? No, I warrant you. He come, quod I, tush, he come. Then hang Esau. But there is not this day in all the world round such another haughty speak wretch to be found. And Ragan, my man, is that not a fine knave? Have any no more masters? Such a man as I have, so idle, so loitering, so trifling, so toying, so prattling, so chattling, so chiding, so buoying, so jesting, so resting, so mocking, so knowing, so nipping, so tripping, so cocking, so crowing, so nappish, so snappish, so elvish, so forward, so crabbed, so rabid, so stiff, so untoward. In play or in pastime, so jocular, so merry, in work or in labor, so weary. Oh, that I had his ear between my teeth now, I should shake him, even as a dog that lulleth a sow. But in faith, if ever I recover myself, there was never none trounced as I shall trounce that elf. He and Jacob are agreed. I dare say not to come at all, but to suffer me here to die. Which if they do, they shall find this same word true, that after I am dead, my soul shall them pursue. I will be avenged on all of their foes till I die, yea, and take vengeance when I am dead too. For I mistrust against me agreed they have, for Thone is but a fool, and t'other a stark knave.
I assure you, Jacob, the man is very weak.
But hark, once again, methink I hear them speak.
I promise you, I fear his life be already past.
May God forbid.
No, now they come at last.
If you believe not me, see yourself where he is.
Right, brother Esau, what a folly is this? About vain pastime to wander abroad in peaks, till with hunger you make yourself thus faint and weak.
Brother Jacob, I pray you, chide now no longer, but give me somewhat wherewith to slake mine hunger.
But alack, brother, I have in my little cottage nothing but a mess of gross and homely pottage.
Oh, refresh me therewithal, and boldly ask of me the best thing that I have, whatsoever it be. I were a very beast, where thou my life dost save, I should stick with thee for the best thing I have.
Can't you be content to sell your birthright to me?
Oh, there's my hand. I do sell it here to thee, with all the profits thereof henceforth to be thine, as free, as full, as large, as ever it was mine.
Then swear thou, hand in hand, before the living Lord, this bargain to fulfill and to stand by thy word.
Before thy Lord, I swear, to whom each heart is known, that my birthright that was from henceforth is thine own.
Thou shalt also with me by this promise indent with this bargain and sail to hold thyself content.
If each penny thereof might be worth 20 pound, I willingly to thee surrender, if this sound. And if each cycle might be worth a whole talent, I promise with this sail to hold me content.
Come, let us set him on foot that he may go sup.
Nay, first I will know a thing ere I help him up. Sirrah, will ye eat folk when ye are long fasting?
No, I pray thee help me up and leave thy jesting.
No, trow, eat your brother Jacob now, if you lust, for you shall not eat me, I tell you, that is just.
That with my pottage thou mayest refreshed be.
There's no meat on earth that so well liketh me.
Yet I may tell you it's pottage dearly bought.
Not a whit. For my bargain, they take thou no thought. I defy that birthright that should be of more price than helping of oneself. I am not so unwise.
And how then, sir, shall poor Ragan have no meat?
Yes, and if thou canst my brother Jacob entreat.
God grant I have enough for Esau alone.
Why then I perceive poor Ragan shall have none. Well, much good do it you with your pottage of rice. I would fast and fare ill ere I ate of that price. Would I sell my birthright, being an eldest son? Forsooth, then it were a fair thread that I had spun. And then to let it go for a mess of pottage? What is that but both unthriftiness and dotage? Alack, alack, God blessed Father Isaac, that ever son of thine should play such a lewd knack. And yet I do not think but God this thing hath wrought, for Jacob is as good as Esau is naught. But forth cometh Mido, as fast as he can trot, for a cycle whether to call me in or not.
Ha 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 ha! Now whoever saw such another as Esau? By my truth, I will not lie to thee, Ragan. Since I was born, I never see any man so greedily eat rice out of a pot or pan. He would not have a dish, but take the pot and sup. Ye never saw a hungry dog so stab pottage up.
Why, how did he sup it? I pray thee, tell me how.
Marry, even thus thou shalt see me do now. Oh, I thank you, Jacob, with all my heart, Jacob. Gently done, Jacob, the friendly part, Jacob. I can sup so, Jacob. Yea, then I will sup too, Jacob. Here it's good meat, Jacob.
As e'er was eat, Jacob.
As e'er I saw, Jacob.
Esau adore, Jacob.
Sweet rice pottage, Jacob.
By Esau's dotage, Jacob.
Jolly good cheer, Jacob.
But bought full dear, Jacob.
I was hungry, Jacob.
I was an unthrift, Jacob.
Ye will none now, Jacob.
I cannot for you, Jacob.
I will eat all, Jacob.
The devil go with all, Jacob.
Thou art a good son, Jacob.
And would he never have done, Jacob?
No, but still coggled in like a jackdaw that cries kabob. That to be killed I could not laughing forbear, and therefore I came out. I durst not abide there.
Is there any pottage left for me, that thou what?
No, I left Esau about to lick the pot.
Lick, quod thou? Now a shame take him that can all lick.
The pot shall need no washing, he will it so lick. And by this he is sitting down to bread and drink.
And shall I have no part with him, dost thou think?
No, for he prayed Jacob ere he did begin to shut the tent fast, that no more guests come in.
And made he no mention of me his servant?
He said thou wert a knave, and bade thee hence avaunt. Go shift where thou couldst. Thou gottest nothing there.
God yield you, Esau, with all my stomach cheer.
I must in again, lest perhaps I should be shent, for I asked nobody licence when I went.
Nay, it is his nature. Do what ye can for him. No thank at his hand, but choose you, sink or swim. Then reason it with him in a meet time and place, and he shall be ready to flee straight in your face. This proverb in Esau may be understand. Claw a churl by the tail, and he will file your hand. Well, I wis, Esau, ye did not know well enow that I had as much need to be meted as you. I have trotted and trudged all night and all day, and now leave me without door, and so go your way? Have I spent so much labour for you to provide, and you nothing regard what of me may betide? Have I run with you while I was able to go, and now you purchase food for yourself and no mo? Have I taken so long pain you truly to serve, and can ye be content that I famish and starve? I must lackey and come lugging greyhound and hound, and must carry the weight, I dare say, of 20 pound, and to help his hunger purchase grace and favour, and now to be shut out fasting for my labour. By my faith, I may say I serve a good master. Nay, nay, I serve an ill husband and a waster, that neither profit regardeth nor honesty. What marvel I then, if he pass so light on me? But Esau, now that ye have sold your birthright, I commend me to you, and God give you good night, and let a friend tell him by his fault at any time. Ye shall hear him chafe beyond all reason or rhyme. Except it were a friend or a very hellhound, you never saw the match of him in any ground. When I shew him of good will what others do say, he will fall out with me and offer me a fray. And what can there be a worser condition than to do ill and refuse admonition? Can such a one prosper or come to a good end? Then I care not how many children God me send. Once Esau shall not beguile me, I can tell, except he shall fortune to amend or do well. Therefore, why do I about him waste thus much talk, whom no man can induce ordinately to walk? But some man perchance doth not a little wonder how I, who but right now did roar out for hunger, have now so much vacant and void time of leisure to walk and to talk and discourse of all pleasure. I told you at the first I would provide for one. My mother taught me that lesson a good while agone. When I came to Jacob, his friendship to require, I drew near and near till I came to the fire. There, hard beside me, stood the pottage pot, even as God would have it, neither cold nor hot. Good simple Jacob could not turn his back so thick, but I at the ladle got a gulp or a lick. So that ere I went, I made a very good meal, and didn't better cheat than Esau a good deal. But here cometh now Master Esau forth. Ah, sir, when one is hungry, good meat is much worth, and well fare a good brother, yet in time of need, the world is now meetly well amended indeed.
By my truth, if I had bidden from meat any longer, I think my very maw would have fret asunder, then I had been dead and gone, I make God a vow.
Surely then the world had had a great loss of you.
What should I?
For where should we have had your fellow in your place?
What should I have done with my birthright in this case?
Kept it still, and you had not been a very ass.
But the best pottage it was yet that ever was. It was sin not to sell one's soul for such gear.
You have done no less in my conscience, I fear.
Who is this that standeth clattering at my back?
A poor man of yours, sir, that doth his dinner lack.
Dinner? Whoreson knave, dinner at this time of day? Nothing with thee but dinner and munching alway. Why, thy whoreson villain slave, who is hungry now?
Indeed, sir, as seemeth by your words, not you.
A man were better fill the bellies of some 12 than to fill the gut of one such whoreson elf, that doth none other good but eat and drink and sleep.
He shall do something else whom ye shall have to keep.
And that maketh thee so slothful and so thither, I dare say. He was 6 hours come hither, when I sent him to make provision afore, now passing a mile hence, or very little more. And yet, being so far past the hour of dining, see, and the knave be not but for his dinner whining. Fast a while, fast with a mischief, greedy slave. Must I provide meat for every glutton knave?
I may fast for any meat that of you I have.
And deserve thy dinner before thou dost crave?
If I have not deserved it at this season, I shall never deserve it in mine own reason. Ye promised I should eat, till I cried ho.
Nay, that was, if we took either hare, teg, or doe.
But when yourself were hungry, ye said I what?
What? Thou villain slave, tell'st thou me now of that?
Then help me run a pace, Ragan, my good servant.
Yea, that was then, now it is otherwise. Avaunt, have I nothing to do but provide meat for you?
You might have given me some part when you had enough.
What? Of the red rice pottage with Jacob I had? Why, the crow would not give it her bird. Thou art mad. Is that meat for you? Nay, it would make you too rank. Nay, soft brother mine, I must keep you more lank. It hath made me ever since so lusty and fresh, as though I had eaten all delicates of flesh. I feel no manner of faintness whereof to complain.
Yet tomorrow ye must be as hungry again. Then must ye and will ye wish again for good cheer, and repent you that ever ye bought this so dear.
Repent me? Wherefore? Then the Lord give me sorrow? If it were to do, I would do it tomorrow. For thou foolish slave, what hath Jacob of me bought?
But a manner of a straw and a thing of naught.
My birthright and whole title of mine eldership. Marry, sir, I pray God much good do with his mastership. If I die tomorrow, what good would it be do me? If he die tomorrow, what benefit hath he? And for a thing hanging on such casualty, better a mess of pottage than nothing. Pardon. If my father live long, when should I it enjoy? If my father dies soon, then it is but a toy. For if the time would come, thinkest thou that Jacob should find Esau such a lout or such a lob to suffer him to enjoy my birthright and rest? Nay, I will first toss him and chance him of the best. I think it to find it a matter of conscience, and Jacob first to have a thought, serve reverence. When my father Isaac shall the matter know, he will not let Jacob have my birthright, I trow. Or if he should keep it as his own, I pray you, might not I live without it and do well enough? Do none but men's eldest sons prosper well? How live younger brethren then? I beseech you, tell. Once, if anything be by the sword to be got, this falchion and I will have to part to our lot. Come on. Go we abroad a while and walk. Let my birthright go and of other matters talk.
Who? I walk? Nay, I trow not. Till I have better dined, it is more time to seek where I may some meat find.
What sayest thou, Jorlach? Come forth with a mischief. Wilt thou not go with me? On, forward, horse and thief. Shall it be as pleaseth you, or as pleaseth me?
Nay, as pleaseth you, sir, methink it must be.
And where be my dogs and my hounds? Be they all well?
Better than your man, for they be in their kennel.
Then, go see all be well in my part of the tent.
With a right good will, sir, I go incontinent.
And I will to my field, the which I cleansed last, to see what hope there is, that it will yield fruit fast.
Thou knowest, little Mido, where my mother is.
I can go to her straight as a thread and not miss.
Go call her, and come again with her thine own self.
Yes, ye shall see me scud like a little elf.
Where I have by the enticement of my mother bargained and bought the birthright of my brother. Turn it all to good, O Lord, if it be thy will. Thou knowest my heart, Lord, I did it for no ill. And whatever shall please thee to work or to do, thou shalt find me pressed and obedient thereto. But here is my mother, Rebecca, now in place.
How say you, Master Jacob? Ran not I apace?
Yes, and a good son to go quick on your errand.
Son, how goeth the matter? Let me understand.
Forsooth, mother, I did so, as ye me bade. Esau to sell me all his birthright persuade.
Hast thou bought it indeed, and he therewith content?
Yea, and have his promise that he will never repent.
Is the bargain through? Hast thou paid him his price?
Yea, that I have a mess of red pottage of rice, and he ate it up every whit will I wot.
When he had supped all, I saw him lick the pot. Thus he licked, and thus he licked, and all this way. I thought to have licked the pot myself once today. But Esau beguiled me, I shrewd him for that, and left not so much as a lick for puss our cat.
Son Jacob, forasmuch as thou hast so well sped, with a hymn or psalm let the Lord be praised. Sing we all together, and give thanks to the Lord, whose promise and performance do so well accord.
Shall we sing the same hymn that all our house doth sing, for Abraham and his seed, to give God praising?
Yea, the very same.
Then must we all kneel down thus, and Abra, our maid here, must also sing with us. Kneel down, Abra. What? I say, will ye not kneel down? Kneel when I bid you, the slackest wench in this town.
Blessed be thou, the God of Abraham, for thou art the Lord our God, and none but thou. What thou workest to the glory of thy name, passeth man's reason to search what way or how. Thy promise it was, Abraham should have seed, more than the stars of the sky to be told. He believed and had Isaac indeed, when both he and Sarah seemed very old. Isaac many years longed for a son, Rebekah thy handmaid, long time was barren. By prayer in thy sight such favor he won, that at one birth she brought him forth sons twain. Wherefore, O Lord, we do confess and believe that both thou canst and wilt thy promise fulfill. But how it shall come, we can no reason give, save all to be wrought according to thy will. Blessed be thou, O the God of Abraham, for thou art the Lord our God, and none but thou. What thou workest to the glory of thy name, passeth man's reason to search what way or how.
Now, doubt not, Jacob, but God hath appointed thee as the eldest son unto Isaac to be. And now have no doubt, but thou art sure elected, and that unthrift Esau of God is rejected. And to sell thee his birthright, since he was so mad, I warrant thee the blessing that he should have had.
Yea, how may that be wrought?
Yes, let me alone. Our good old Isaac is blind and cannot see, so that by policy he may beguiled be. I shall devise how for no ill intent nay wrought, but to bring to pass that I know God will have wrought. And I charge you twain, Abra and little Mido.
Nay, you should have set Mido before Abra, I trow, for I am a man toward, and so is not she.
No, but yet I am more woman than ye.
I charge you both that whatever hath been spoken, you do not to any living body open.
For my part, it shall to no body uttered be.
And slip my tongue if ever it come out for me. But if any tell, Abra here will be prattling, for they say women will ever be clattering.
There is none here that prattleth so much as you.
No more words, but hence we all together.
And that's officially where we stop today. But I'm going to give the room a couple of options, because this is where we'd probably put an interval, because of the flow of the action. We can either carry on. I can give a few parts. We may go a little over time, but we should probably crack through the entire play, or at least another couple of acts, and maybe with a hanging end point that we fit in next week before coming back to it. Or anyone who doesn't want to crack on and complete.
Go for it.
No, everybody's good for that. Okay, we'll probably ever so slightly run over time, but hopefully we'll be okay. Elizabeth, you gain a different additional part. You get to be Deborah coming up.
Okay.
Deborah. I don't think Zethar returns, but Deborah has not been allocated. Otherwise, I think all the parts remain the same, and hopefully you've got something to read. And we'll take that as an interval. So eyes down for the re-entrance of Esau, Isaac, and Mido for Act 3.
Now, since I last saw mine old father Isaac, both I do think it long, and he will judge me slack. But he cometh forth, I will hear, listen, and see whether he shall chance to speak any word of me.
On, lead me forth, Mido, to the bench on this hand, that I may sit me down, for I cannot long stand.
Here, sir, this same way, and ye be at the bench now, where ye may sit down in God's name, if please you.
I marvel where Esau my son doth become, that he doth now of days visit me so seldom. But it is oft seen whom fathers do best favour, of them they have least love again for their labour. I think, since I saw him, is a whole week. Faith, little Mido, I would thou wouldst him.
Forsooth, Master Isaac, and I knew it where I should not be very long ere I would be there. But shall I at adventure go seek where he is?
Seek no farther, Mido. Already here he is.
Methinkest I have Esau his voice to
Yes,
see.
truly, father, ye are not deceived.
Here he is, come now, invisible, by my soul, for I saw him not till he spake hard at my pole.
Now go thou in, Mido. Let us two here alone.
Sir, if ye command me, full quickly I am gone.
Yet, and if I call thee, see thou be not
I come
slack.
at the first call, good Master Isaac.
Son
Here,
Esau,
father.
is none here
None
but
to
we.
hearken our talk, father, that I do see.
Son Esau, why hast thou been from me so long?
I cry you mercy, father, if I have done wrong. But I am both to trouble you, having nothing to present you withal, nor venison to bring.
Son Esau, thou knowest that I do
I
thee
thank
love.
you for it, father, as doth me behove.
And now thou seest my days draw towards an end.
That is to me great ruth, if I could amend.
I must go the way of all mortal flesh. Therefore, while my memory and wit is yet fresh, I would endow mine heritage. I would thee endow mine heritage to succeed, and bless thee as I ought to multiply my seed. The God of my father Abraham and of me hath promised that our seed as the sand shall be. He is a God of truth, and in his words just. Therefore, in my working shall be no fault, I trust. Now, therefore, son Esau, get thee forth to hunt, with thy bow and quiver, as erst thou hast been wont, and bring me of thy venison, which is good.
He shall have of the best that runneth in the wood.
When thou comest home, to dress it shall behove, and to make for mine own tooth such meat as I love. Thus do, mine own dear son, and thee then I shall thee kiss, with the kiss of peace, and thee forever bless.
Your will to accomplish, most dear father Isaac, with all good haste and speed I shall not be found slack.
then help lead me home in my tent that I was set, and then go when thou wilt.
I shall without let.
This talk of Isaac in secret have I heard, and what end it should come to, my heart is afeard. Ne'er had I so much ado for to forbear to speak, but the Lord, I trust, will Isaac's purpose break. O God of Abraham, make it of none effect. Let Jacob have the blessing whom thou hast elect. I, for my part, shall work what may be wrought, that it may to Jacob from Esau be brought. And in will I go to see what I can devise, that Isaac's intent may fail in any wise.
All right, Ragan.
Sorry, I was moved ahead to highlight and then lost. I thought I was at the right place and I wasn't. Sorry.
Act 3, Scene 3.
Sorry, right. Nay, we must on hunting go yet once more again, and never come home now, except we speed certain. But I trow for hunger I have provided here, that whatever befall, I, Ragan, shall have cheer. But no time to tell what delicates here be, but think this to be true, they're fit for better men than me. And what? Shall Esau hereof have any part? Nay, I trust to convey it by such a pretty art, that till the bag be clear, he shall it never see. I shall, and if he faint, feed him as he fed me. I shall requite his shutting me out of the door, that if he bid me run to get him meat afore, I shall run as fast as my feet were made of lead, and tell him there is none, though I may well be sped. I will be even with him for my fair last day, when he was with Jacob.
What is it that thou dost say?
Sir, on your behalf I earnestly wish and pray that if like need chance ye may fare last day, when ye were with Jacob.
Well, come on, let us go.
Even when ye will, is there letting me or no?
Sorry. Son Jacob, even now is come the very hour that if thou have any grace or heart or power to play thy part well and stick into it throughout, Esau, his blessing will be thine without doubt.
Mother, I know your good will to be unfeigned, but I see not which way the thing may be attained.
I have it contrived how all things shall be done. Thou do as I shall bid, and it will be won.
Mother, in me shall be no fault or negligence.
Then hearken very well unto this my sentence. I heard old Isaac in long solemn talk bid thy brother Esau to the field to walk, and there with his bow to kill some venison, which brought and dressed he is to have his venison. For I am aged, as said Isaac truly, and would bless thee, dear son, before that I die. Now is Esau gone to do it even so, but while he is away, I would have thee to go abroad unto the flock and fetch me kids twain, of which I shall with a trice make such meat certain as shall say, come eat me, and shall make old Isaac lick his lips thereat, so toothsome shall it smack. I shall make him thereof of such as he doth love, which in thy brother's stead to bless thee shall him move.
Oh, sweet and dear mother, this device is but vain, for Esau is rough, and I am smooth, certain. And so when I shall to my father bring this meat, perchance he will feel me before that he will eat. Old men be mistrustful, he shall matter take, that I went about my father a fool to make. Mother, by such a prank the matter will be worse, and I, instead of blessing, shall purchase me his curse.
On me be thy curse, my son, let it light on me. Only fetch thou the kids hither, as I bid thee, do thou true devoir, and let God work therein.
Upon your word, mother, I will the thing begin. Send me little Mido to help me bear a kid.
He shall come by and by, for I shall him bid. Now, Lord, if thou please that this thing shall take place, further this our enterprise, helping with thy grace.
I hear, Master Jacob. I came you to look, and here Dame Rebecca hath sent you your sheep crook, and hath commanded me to wait on you this day. But wherefore, why, she would nothing me say.
Come on then, follow me, Mido, a little ways.
Whither shall ye lead me? I am at all assays.
And art thou able to bear a kid on thy back?
I am able, I trow, to bear a quarter sack. How say you to this corpse? Is it not fat and round? How say ye to these legs? Come they not to the ground? And here be not arms able your matter to speed. Be not here likely shoulders to do such a deed. Therefore come, Master Jacob, if this your doubt be, for bringing home of kids, lay the biggest on me, so that if we make a feast, I may have some part.
Yes, that shalt thou, Mido, right worthy thou art.
I come to see if Jacob be gone afield yet. A little slacking may all our purpose let. But now that he is gone, he will be here at once. Therefore, I will call my maid Abra for the nonce, that all things within may be in readiness. Abra! Where be ye, Abra?
Here within, mistress.
Come forth. When, Abra? What Abra, I say?
Anon.
Must I call so oft? Why come ye not by and by?
I was washing my vessel, forsooth, mistress I.
And in very deed, look that all your vessels be clean.
There is not one foul piece in all our tent, I ween.
Then make a great fire, and make ready your pot, and see there be plenty of water, cold and hot, and see the spit be scoured as clean as any pearl.
If this be not quickly done, call me naughty girl.
Nay, soft, whither away? I have not yet all done.
I thought ye would have had me as quick to be gone, as when ye call Abra, ye would have me to come.
Then see we have made ready cloves, mace, and cinnamon, pepper and saffron, then fat herbs for the pot.
We will have the best that by me can be got.
And let no foul corner be about all the tent.
If ye find any fault, hardly let me be shent. Is there anything else but that I may go now?
Not but that when I come, I find no fault in you.
No, I warrant you. I will not let my matters sleep.
Any good wench that will at her dame's bidding take keep. Now, God of Abraham, as I trust in thy grace, send Jacob the blessing and Esau his place. As thou hast ordained, right so must all things be. Perform thine own words, Lord, which thou spakest to me. Now will I go in to see that mine old husband may of my secret working nothing understand, or in case he smell what we have thus far begun, he may think it all for Esau to be done.
He that were now within should find all thing, I ween, as trim as a trencher, as trick, as sweet, as clean, And seeing that my dame prepareth such a feast, I will not, I trow, be found such a sluttish beast, that there shall any filth about our tent be kept, but that both within and without it shall be swept. It hath been a proverb before I was born, young doth it prick that will be a thorn, who will be evil or who will be good, who give into truth or who to falsehood. Each body's youth showeth a great likelihood. It hath been a proverb before I was born, young doth it prick that will be a thorn, whoso in youth will no goodness embrace, but follow pleasure and no virtues trace. Great marvel it is, if such come to grace. It hath been a proverb before I was born, young doth it prick that will be a thorn, such as in youth will refuse to be taught, or will be slack to work as he ought. When they come to age, their proof will be naught. It hath been a proverb before I was born, young doth it prick that will be a thorn. If a child have been given to any vice, except he be guided by such as be wise, he will thereof all his life have a spice. It hath been a proverb before I was born, young doth it prick that will be a thorn. It hath been a proverb before I was born, young doth it prick that will be a thorn. Now have I done, and as it should be for the nonce, my sweeping and my song are ended both at once. Now but for fetting mine herbs, I might go play. Deborah, nurse, Deborah, a word, I you pray.
What is the matter? Who calleth me Deborah?
Forsooth, gentle nurse, even I, little Abra, I pray you, sweet Deborah, take in this same broom, and look well to all things till I return home. I must go to the garden as fast as I can trot, as I was commanded, to fetch herbs for the pot. But in the meantime, I pray you, nurse, look about, and see well to the fire that it go not out. I will amble so fast that I will soon be there, and here again I trow ere an oar's lick his ear.
There is not a prettier girl within this mile than this Abra will be within this little while. As true as any steel, ye may trust her with gold, though it were a bushel and not a penny told. As quick about her work that must be quickly sped, as any went in 20 mile about her tread. As fine a piece it is, as I know but a few, yet perchance her husband of her may have a shrew. Cat after kind, say the proverb, sweet milk will lap. If the mother be a shrew, the daughter cannot scape. One sure mark she hath, I marvel if she slip, for her nose is growing above her over lip. But it is time that I into the tent be gone, lest she come and chide me. She will come now anon.
How say ye? Have not I dispatched me quickly a straw for that wench that doth not somewhat likely? I have brought here good herbs, and of them plenty, to make both broth and farsing, and that full dainty. I trust to make such broth that, when all things are in, God Almighty self may wet his finger therein. Here is thyme and parsley and spinach and rosemary, endive, succory, lactore, violet, clary, liverwort, marigold, sorrel, hart's tongue and sage, penny royal, purslane, bug gloss, and borage, with many very good herbs, more than I do name. But to tarry here thus long, I am much to blame. For if Jacob should come, I not in readiness, I must of covenant be shent of our mistress, and I would not for 20 pound, I tell ye, that any point of default should be found in me.
I come to see if Jacob do not return yet. I cannot marvel enough should be his let, and greatly wonder he is away thus long. I fear much of his absence, lest something be wrong. As well as heart can wish, all things ready here, and now me each moment seemeth a whole year. Hark, methinketh I hear a kid bleat. It is so indeed. I see Jacob. Well is me.
Hark, Master Jacob, heard ye ever kid bleat so? I ween she knoweth aforehand whereto she shall go.
I would not my father Isaac should hear.
Nay, she will scarcely be still when she is dead, I do fear.
But lo, I see my mother stand before the tent.
O Lord, methinketh long, son Jacob, since you went.
And methinketh, mother, we have hied as well.
I have made many feet to follow, I can tell.
Give me the kid, my son, and now let me alone. Bring thou thine, Mido, and see thou be a stone.
A stone? How should that be, mistress? I'm a lad, and a boy alive as good as e'er ye had. And now in bringing home this kid, I have, I trow, tried myself a man and a pretty fellow.
I meant thou shouldst nothing say.
Oh, one warning is enough. He bade us so last day.
Well, let me go in and venison hereof make.
And hearest thou, Mido, see that good heed thou take in any wise to come in my father's sight.
Why, he hath no better at noon than at midnight. Is he not blind long since? And doth his eyes lack? Therefore go in, dame. I bear a heavy pack.
I leave you here, Jacob, and heartily you pray that when need shall require, you be not far away.
I shall be ready, mother, whensoever you call. Oh, how happy is that same daughter or that son whom the parents love with hearty affection. And among all others, how fortunate am I, whom my mother Rebecca tendereth so greatly. If it lay in her to do any good, you see, she would do her earnest devoir to prefer me. But as for this matter which she now doth intend, without thy aid, O Lord, how should it come to an end? Nevertheless, for as much as my said mother worketh upon thy word, O Lord, and none other, it shall become me to show mine obedience, and to thy promise, O Lord, to give true due credence. For what is so impossible to man's judgment, which thou canst not with the beck perform incontinent? Therefore thy will, O Lord, be done for evermore.
Oh, Jacob, I was never so afeard before.
Why, what new thing is chanced, Mido, I pray thee?
Old Isaac, your father, heard your young kid bleat. He asked what it was. I said a kid. Who bought it from the fold? I said you did. For what purpose? Forsooth, sir, said I, there is some matter that Jacob would remedy. And where hast thou been so long, little Mido? Quoth he. That all this whole hour thou wert not once with me. Forsooth, quoth I, when I went from you last of all, you bade me be no more, but be ready at your call.
But of the kid's bleating he did speak no more.
No, but, and if he had called me afore, I must have told him all, or else I must have made the lie, which would not have been a good boy's part, truly. but I will to him and no longer here remain, lest he should happen to call for Mido again.
I were best also to get me into the tent, that if my mother need me, I may be present. But I see her come forth, and nurse Deborah also, and bring the gear with them, whatsoever it shall do.
Where is my son Jacob? I do him now espy. Come apace, Deborah. I pray thee, let us hie, that all thing were dispatched somewhat to my mind.
It is happy that Jacob ready here ye find.
Mother, what have ye brought, and what things are those?
Gear that I have prepared to serve our purpose. And because that Esau is so rough with hair, I have brought sleeves of kid next to thy skin to wear. They be made glove-like, and for each finger a stall, so that thy father's feelings soon beguile they shall. Then have I brought a collar of rough kid's hair, fastened to thy skin round thy neck to wear. Come, let me do it, and if Isaac feel, he shall therewith be beguiled wondrous well.
And what shall this gear do that ye have brought?
It shall serve anon, I warrant you, take no thought. Now, thoroughly to ravish thy father Isaac, thou shalt here, incontinent, put upon thy back Esau, his best apparel, whose fragrant flavor shall conjure Isaac to bear thee his favor.
Marry, sir, now is Master Jacob trim indeed. That is all tricksy and gallant, so God me speed. Now I see apparel setteth out a man. Doth it become Esau so? Nay, beshrew me then.
Ye may go in, nurse, and leave looking on him.
I go. Marry, sir, Jacob is now gay and trim.
Oh, forsooth, mother, this raiment liketh not me. I could with mine own gear better contented be, and but for satisfying of your mind and will, I would not wear it, to have it for mine own still. I love not to wear another bird's feathers. Mine own poor homely gear will serve for all weathers.
Well, content thyself, and follow my mind this day. Now the meat by this time is ready, I dare say. Before that, with too much enough, it be all spilt. Take thy time and assail thy father when thou wilt.
But have you provided, mother, I you pray, that nobody within may your counsel bewray?
I warrant the matter all safe from uttering. I have stopped all mouths from once muttering. Therefore, while the time service I warn thee, to slack when all things are ready may do harm.
Go before, and I follow. But my cheeks will blush red to be seen among our folk thus apparelled.
Come, Mido, without thee I can do nothing do.
What is it, sir, that you would have my help unto?
Nothing but to sit abroad and take the open air.
That shall be well done. The weather is very fair.
Praised be the God of my father Abraham, who sendeth all things needful for the use of man, and most tenderly provideth he for me Isaac, better than I can feel or perceive what I lack.
Where is my most dear father? As I would have it, taking the open air, here I see him sit. Oh, my most dear father Isaac, well thou be.
Here I am, my sweet son, and who art thou? Tell me.
Dear father, I am Esau, thy eldest son. According as thou badest me, so I have done. Come in, dear father, and eat of my venison, that thy soul may give unto me thy venison.
How hast thou sped so soon? Let me understand.
The Lord thy God at first brought it to my hand.
And art thou Esau, my elder son indeed?
To ask that question, father, what doth it need?
Come near that I may feel whether thou be he or not. For Esau is as rough as hair as any goat. Let me feel thy hand. Right, Esau by the hair, and yet the voice of Jacob soundeth in mine ear. God bless thee, my son, and so will I do anon, as soon as I have tasted of thy venison. Come, lead me in. I will eat a pittance. A little thing, God wot, to me is sufficient.
I may now go play. Jacob leadeth Isaac. But I never saw such a pretty knack. How Jacob beguiled his father. How slightly. Now I see it true. The blind eat many a fly. I quaked once for fear that Jacob would be caught, but as hap was, he had his lesson well taught. But what will Esau say when he cometh home? Choose him. But for me to go in, it is wisdom.
I now beseech the Lord prosper Jacob, my son, in our hardy enterprise, which we have begun. Isaac is eating such meat as he doth love, which thing to bless Jacob I doubt not will him move. If he obtain the blessing, I trust he shall, then shall my soul give to God laud perpetual. But now I will in to hearken how the thing doth frame.
Come in, Dame Rebecca.
Who is it that doth me name?
My master Isaac is coming forth straightway.
He shall not find me here in no wise, if I may.
Set me down on the bench where thou didst me first find. Now forsooth, I have ate meat even to my mind. It hath refreshed my soul wonderfully well, nor never drank I better wine that I can tell.
If it were to your liking, I'm very glad.
It was the best meat and wine that I ever had. Come, kiss me, son Esau, with a kiss of peace, that my love towards thee may the more increase. I bless thee here forever, my son, in this place. The Lord, my God of might, endue thee with his grace. What sweet flavour my son's raiment doth yield, even the fragrant smell that cometh from a field, which the Lord hath blessed, and the same Lord bless thee with the dew of heaven. The Lord thy ground increase, that the fatness of the earth may never cease. The Lord send thee abundance of corn and wine, and prosper continually all things that is thine. The Lord make great people servants unto thee, and nations to do homage and fealty. And here, to succeed my place, mine heir I thee make, of all things that I have possession to take. Lord and ruler be thou over thy brethren all, and bow to thee as head thy mother's children shall. Cursed be that man that shall thee curse or missay, and who that blesseth thee, blessed be he for aye. Thus here have I made my last will and testament, which the Lord God ratify never to repent. Serve the Lord our God, then well shalt thou speed, and he promised to multiply thy seed. My day draweth on, for old and feeble I am. When I die, put me to my father Abraham. Now kiss me once again, my son, and then depart, and enter upon all, whereof now, Lord, thou art.
The Lord God reward your fatherly tenderness, which ye have here showed me of your mere goodness.
Go in peace, my dear son, leaving me here alone, and send for Mido to lead me in anon. Lord God, when thou shalt see time, as thou thinkest best, dissolve this feeble carcass, and take me to thy rest.
How do ye, Master Isaac? I'm here now, for my master Jacob did bid me come to you.
Nay, boy, it was not Jacob, I dare well say so.
Forsooth it was Jacob, if my name be Mido.
If that be a true tale, somebody is come slack. But Lord, that I have done, I will not now fall back. But yet I will go see if I be deceived. For indeed, methought Jacob's voice I perceived.
O Lord, the God of Isaac and Abraham, I render thanks to thee, though a sinful woman, because of thy word and promise, true art thou, in sending Jacob the blessing of Esau. And for thus regarding a sinner as I am, and if soon thank thee, O Lord God of Abraham. Thy mercy and wisdom shall I sing evermore, and magnify thy name. For gods there is no more. But I will to my husband Isaac and see, for this matter he take no grief at me.
Now, at last we have well sped, I warrant you. Good luck is not evermore against Esau. He coursed and coursed again with his dogs here, but they could at no time take either hare or deer. At last he killed this with his bow, as God would, and to say that it is a fat venison I be bold, but dressed it must be at once in all the haste, that old Father Isaac may have his repast. Then, without delay, Esau shall blessed be. Then, faith, cock on hoop, all is ours. Then, who but he? But I must in, that it may be dressed in time likely, and I trow ye shall see it made ready quickly.
Nay, now, old Master Isaac, I warrant you, hath blessed Jacob in the place of Esau. At home here with us, it is judged no small charge, but a case wonderful and also very strange. The younger brother is made elder, and again the elder now must serve the younger as his swain. And from henceforth we must all make courtesy and bow unto Master Jacob, and not to Esau now. And Esau himself must under Jacob be, at his commandment, even as well as we. But I care not, I warrant you, for our household loved Jacob better than Esau 20-fold. None loveth Esau but for his father's sake, but all good folks are glad Jacob's part to take. And now by Esau no man will set a pin. But yonder he cometh now, I will get me in.
I trow I have now worn my spurs forever, for once better venison killed I never, and though it were somewhat long ere I could it take, yet the goodness thereof doth some recompense make. My father Isaac shall thereof have such meat as in all his life he hath not the better eat. Whereupon, I doubt not, after tender kissing, to be straight endowed with his godly blessing, as his full and true heir in his place to succeed, and to enjoy the promise that God made to his seed. And when I am once in my place of succession, and have all manners thing in full possession, I shall ring all louts, and make them stoop, I trow. I shall make the slaves couch as low as dog, and bow. I shall ruffle among them of another sort than Isaac hath done, and with another port. But now we'll go see what haste within they make, that part of my hunting my old father may take.
Mido, come Mido, where art thou, little Mido?
Here ready, Master Isaac, what shall I do?
Come, lead me to mine old place, that I may sit down.
That can I as well as any boy in this town.
O Lord my God, how deep and unsearchable are all thy judgments, and how immutable. Of thy justice, whom it pleaseth thee, thou dost reject. Of thy mercy, whom it pleaseth thee, thou dost elect. In my two sons, O Lord, thou hast wrought thy will, and as thy pleasures have wrought, so shall it stand still, since thou hast set Jacob and Esau his place. I commit to him to the governance of thy grace.
Now, where is Isaac, that he may come and eat? Lo, where is he sitting abroad upon his seat? Dear Father Isaac, the Lord thy God be safe.
Who art thou, my son? What thing wouldst thou have?
I am your young eldest son, Esau by my name, new come home from hunting, where I had joyly game. I had made meat thereof for your own appetite, meat for your own tooth, wherein you will much delight. Come, eat your part, dear father, that when ye have done, your soul may bless me as your heir and eldest son.
Ah, Esau, thou comest too late. Another to thy blessing was predestinate, and clean gone is from thee, Esau.
Alas, then am I the unhappiest that ever was? Why would the savage beast had my body torn?
The blessing that thou shouldst have had, another hath.
Alas, what wretched villain hath done me such scathe?
Thy brother Jacob came to me by subtlety, and brought me venison, and so prevented thee. I ate with him ere thou camest, and with my good will blessed him I have, and blessed he shall be still.
Jacob, well, may he be called so, for he hath undermined me times two. For mine heritage he took away from me fro, and see, now hath he away my blessing also. Father, though Jacob hath done this thing, yet let me, Esau, also have thy blessing. Shall all my good huntings for thee be in vain?
That is done and past, cannot be called again. Mine act must now stand in force of necessity.
And hast thou never a blessing then left for me?
Behold, I have made thy brother Jacob thy lord.
A most poignant sword unto my heart is that word.
All his mother's children his servants have I made.
That word is to me sharper than a razor's blade.
I have also established him with wine and corn.
Woe be the day and hour that ever I was born.
What am I able to do for thee, my son?
Jacob, that thou hast me thus undone. Unhappy hap. Misfortune, well away, that ever I should live to see this woeful day. But hast thou one blessing, and no more, my father? Let me also have some blessing, good sweet father.
Well, nature pricketh me some remorse on thee to have. Behold, thy dwelling place, the earth's fatness shall have, and the dew of heaven, which down from above shall fall, and with dint of sword thy living get thou shalt, and to thy brother Jacob thou shalt be servant.
To my younger brother must I be servant. Ever a man should be so oppressed.
Thine own fault it is that thou art dispossessed.
Father, change that piece of thy sentence and judgment.
Things done cannot be undone, therefore be content. Let me be in quiet, and trouble me no more. Come, Mido, in God's name, leave me in at the door.
Would not this chafe a man and fret his guts out to live as an underling of such a lout? Ah, hypocrite! Ah, hedge keeper! Assembling wretch! I will be even with thee for this subtle fetch. God of Abraham, what reason is herein than to slay one's enemy it should be made sin? Will not one as good his part of heaven forego as not to be revenged on his deadly foe? God was angry with Cain for killing Abel. Else might I kill Jacob marvelously well? I may fortune one day him to dispatch and rid. The Lord will not see all things, something may be hid. But as for these misers within my father's tent, which to the supplanting of me put their consent, not one, but I shall coil them till they stink for pain, and then for their stinking coil them for fresh again. I will take no days, but while the matter is hot, not one of them shall escape, but they shall to the pot.
Where are we now become? Marry, sir, here is array. With Esau, my master, this is a black day. I told you Esau one day would shit a rag. Have we not well hunted, of blessing to come lag? Nay, I thought ever it would come to such a pass, since he sold his heritage like a very arse. But, in faith, some of them I dare jeopard a groat, If he may reach them, we'll have on the petticoat.
Come out, whores and thieves! Come out! Come out, I say!
I told you, did I not, that there would be a fray?
Come out, little wholesome ape! Come out of thy den!
Take my life for a penny. Whither shall I run?
Come out, thou young little fiend! Come out, thou skittish gill!
Out, alas, alas, Esau will us all kill.
And come out, thy mother Mab! Out, old rotten witch, as white as midnight's arsehole or virgin pitch! Where be ye? Come together in a cluster.
In faith, and these three will make a noble muster.
Ere ye escape my fingers, ye shall all be taught, for these be they which have all this against me wrought.
I wrought not a stroke this day, but led Isaac. If I wrought one stroke today, lay me on the jack.
Hence then, get thee in, and do against me no more.
I care not as much. I care as much for you now as I did before.
What sayest thou, little thief, if I may thee catch?
Ye shall run apace then, I ween, so God me snatch.
Now go to, Mido, ere thou art caught in a trip.
Now, for his sake, Abra, ye shall drink of the whip.
Nay, for God's love, good sweet master Esau, hurt not me for Mido. Speak for me, Ragan.
Sir, spare little Abra, she hath done none evil.
Ah, a little fiend it is. He will be a right devil, and she is one of them that love me not me a deal.
If ye let me go, I will love you very well.
And never any more ado, much more ado against me make.
Ragan shall be surety.
Sir, I undertake.
Then hence out of my sight at once, and get thee in.
Adieu, I set not a straw by you, nor a pin.
Oh, what sayest thou, thou fib? Once ye shall have a rap?
The best end of surety is to get a clap.
Now, come on, thou old hag, what shall I say to thee?
Say what ye lust, so ye do not touch me.
Yes, and make powder of thee, for I dare say thou hast been the cause of all this feast to Esau.
No, it was Jacob's feast that I did help to dress.
Nay, I thought it was such a witch would do such business.
But by my truth, if I should die incontinent, I knew not of the purpose wherefore it was meant.
But wilt thou tell me the truth if I do forgive thee?
Yea, if I can, Master Esau, believe me.
Is it true that when I and my brother were first born, and I by God's ordinance came forth him before, Jacob came forthwith, holding me fast by the heel?
It is true. I was there and saw it very well.
Is it true? Well, Jacob, I pray God I be dead, but for my heel's sake, I will have thee by the head. What devil was in me that I had not the grace with kicking back my heel to mar his moppish face? But my father, Isaac, will not live long now. If he were gone, Jacob, I would soon meet with you. For my soul hateth Jacob even to the death, and I will never but hate him while I shall have breath. I may well dissemble until I see a day, but trust me, Jacob, I will pay thee when I may. But if ever I hear that thou speak word of this, I shall cut out thy tongue. I will not miss. But come on, Ragan, with me, so mote I thrive. I will get a good sword, for thereby must I live.
Live, quod you? We are like to live, God knoweth how.
What? Ye saucy merchant, are ye a prater now?
I am glad that Esau is now gone, certes, for an evil-disposed man he is doubtless. Yet am I no gladder of his departure hence, than I am that Rebecca is come in presence.
Deborah, what dost thou, tarrying here so long? I came full ill of fear lest something had been wrong, for Mido and Abra told me of Esau.
Indeed, here he was, and departed hence but now. And one thing I tell you, dame, let Jacob beware, for Esau to mischief Jacob doth prepare.
Jacob hither that I may show him mind. Send him hither quickly, and tarry ye behind. That he give place a while, it is expedient, and how he may be sure, I will the way invent.
Mother Rebecca, did you send for me hither?
Yea, and the cause is this. Thou must go somewhither to hide thee from thy brother Esau.
Indeed, to men's malice we must sometime give place.
He lieth in a wait to slay thee if he can. Thou shalt therefore by my rede fly hence to Haran, and lie with my brother Laban, a man aged, till Esau's wrath be somewhat assuaged. When all things are forgotten and his fury past, I shall send for thee again in all goodly haste.
Yea, but how will my father herewith be content?
Thou shalt see me win him thereto in constant, and here he cometh happily. Jacob, hear me. Make sign to Mido that he do not name thee. Then get thee privy till I do call thee.
As ye command me, Mother Rebecca, I shall.
Where be ye, good wife?
My Dame Rebecca is here.
I'm glad, sweet husband, that I see you appear, for I have a word or two unto thee to say.
Whatsoe'er it be, tell it me, I you pray.
Sir, ye know that now our life days are but short, and we have never so great need of comfort. Now Esau, his wives, being Hittites both, you know, to please us are much unwilling and loath. That if Jacob eke would take any Hittite wife, small joy should we both have or comfort of our life.
Wife, you speak this well, and I will provide therefore. Call Jacob quickly, that he appear me before.
I can run a pace for him, if you bid me go.
Oh, hie thee at once then, like a good son, Mido.
O Lord, save thou my son from this miscarrying.
Come, Master Jacob, ye must make no tarrying, for it is I that shall be shent if you be slack. Here is your son Jacob now, Master Isaac.
Son Jacob, make thee ready as fast as thou can, and in all haste possible get thee unto Laban. He is thine uncle, and a right godly man. Marry of his daughters, and not of Canaan. In Mesopotamia shall thou live thy life. The Lord prosper thee here, without debate or strife. And the God of Abraham prosper thee in peace. He multiply thy seed, and make it to increase. Now kiss me, dear son Jacob, and go thy way.
Kiss me also, sweet son, and hence without delay.
Now, most tender parents, as well with heart and word, I bid you well to fare and leave you to the Lord.
Nay, Master Jacob, let me have an hand also.
Even with all my heart, farewell, little Mido.
Now will I depart hence into the tent again.
As pleaseth God and you, but I will here remain.
And is he gone indeed to mine uncle Laban in Mesopotamia at the town of Haran? And is Jacob gone to the house of Bethuel, the whirlwind with him and flinging fiend of hell? But I shall meet with him yet one day, and well enough. And who is this? My mother, whom I see here now?
She stood here all this while, sir. Did ye not her see?
Didst thou see her stand here, and wouldst not warn me?
Son Esau, afore God thou art much to blame, and to do as I hear of thee is a foul shame.
Mother, what is it ye hear of me of late?
That thou dost thy brother Jacob deadly hate.
Hate Jacob? I hate him, and will do till I die, for he hath done me both wrong and villainy, and that shall he well know if the Lord give me life.
Fie upon thee to speak so, lewd caitiff.
My master Esau is of nature much hot, but he will be better than he saith, fear not.
My birthright to sell, did he not make me consent?
But the same to do wert not thyself content. There is no man to blame for it but thine own self.
Yea, mother, I see that ye hold with that mopish elf. It is your dainty darling, your prickox, your gold-pole. He can never be praised enough of your soul. He must ever be extolled above the moon. It is never amiss that he hath said or done. I would he were rocked or dandled in your lap, or would I, with this falchion, I might give him pap. I marvel, why ye should so love him and me not. Ye groaned for as well for the one as the other, I wot. But Jacob must be advanced in any wise. But I shall one day handle him of the new guise.
Both on thy father's blessing and mine I charge thee, that thy soul intend never such iniquity. Beware by the example of Cain, I thee read. Thou bring not the Lord's curse on thy head.
And what? Should I take all this wrong at Jacob's hand?
Forgive, and the Lord shall prosper thee in the land. My son Esau, hear me. I am thy mother, and for my sake, let pass this grudge against thy brother.
Sir, your mother's request is but reasonable, which for you to grant shall be much commendable.
Mother, that would be a great thing that you require, yet must all malice pass at your desire, and for your cause, mother, this mine anger shall slake.
I thank thee, my son, that thou dost it for my sake.
For your sake, with Jacob I will be at accord.
And shall I call thy father to be his record?
As pleaseth you, mother, I can be well content.
Then I will go call him hither incontinent, and where he doth already love thee very well, this will make him to love thee better a great deal.
Truly, sir, this is of you a right gentle part, at least if it come from the bottom of your heart.
Oh, it must now be thus, but when I shall Jacob find, I shall then do as God shall put into my mind.
He hath at my word remitted all his quarrel.
Forsooth, of him the better a great deal, and if he be here, I would commend his doing.
All pressed here, father, to tarry on your coming.
Son Esau, thou hast thyself well acquitted, that all quarrel to Jacob thou hast remitted. It was the Lord's pleasure that it should thus be, against whose ordinance to stand is not for thee. But now, to the intent it may please the Lord to knit your hearts one day in a perfect concord, we shall first in a song give Lord unto his name, and then with all gladness within confirm the same.
As ye think best, dear husband, I agree hereto.
Me ye may command to what ye will have me to do, and so may ye do also, Ragan, my man.
I see none, but praise we the Lord the best we can. Call forth all our household, that with one accord we may all with one voice sing unto the Lord.
Come on, everybody, let's have a sing-song.
O Lord, the God of our father Abraham, how deep and unsearchable are thy judgments. Thy almighty full hand did create and frame both heaven and earth and all the elements. Man of the earth, thou hast formed and create. Some do thee worship, and some stray awry. Whom pleaseth thee, thou dost choose and reprobate, and no flesh can ask thee wherefore or why. Of thine own will thou didst Abraham elect, promising him seed as stars of the sky, and them as thy chosen people to protect, that they might thy mercies praise and magnify. Perform thou, O Lord, thine eternal decree to me and my seed, the sons of Abraham, and whom thou hast chosen thine own people to be. Guide and defend to the glory of thy name.
When Adam, for breaking God's commandment, had sentence of death and all his posterity, yet the Lord our God, who is omnipotent, had in his own self, by his eternal decree, appointed to restore man and to make him free. He purposed to save mankind by his mercy, whom he once had created unto his glory. Yet not all flesh did he then predestinate, but only the adopted children of promise. For he foreknew that many would degenerate and willfully give cause to be put from that bliss. So on God's behalf, no manner default there is, but where he chooseth, he showeth his great mercy, and where he refuseth, he doth none injury. But thus far surmounteth man's intellection to attain or conceive, and much more to discuss. All must be referred to God's election, and to his sacred judgment. It is meet for us. With Paul the Apostle to confess and say thus, "Oh, the deepness of the riches of God's wisdom! How unsearchable are his ways to man's reason! Our part, therefore, is first to believe God's word, not doubting but that he will his elected save, then to put full trust in the goodness of the Lord, that we be of the number which shall mercy have. Thirdly, so to live as we may his promise crave. Thus if we do, we shall Abraham's children be, and come with Jacob to endless felicity."
Amen.
Amen.
Now unto God let us pray for all the whole clergy, to give them grace to advance God's honour and glory.
Then for the Queen's Majesty let us pray unto God to keep her in health and wealth night and day, and that of his mere mercy and great benignity he will defend and maintain her estate and dignity, that she, being grieved with any outward hostility, may against her enemies always have victory.
God save the Queen's counselors, most noble and true, and with all godliness their noble hearts endue.
Lord, save the nobility and preserve them all, and prosper the Queen's subjects universal.
Amen.
It's always fascinating timings-wise. We do a play that is 18,504 words, and it takes about 2 hours, and we can do a section of a play that's only 14,000 words and only slightly less than they did. I'm always fascinated how some scripts move quickly and some scripts move incredibly slowly, and I think even this one can go a lot faster than that. I'm aware of time, so I am going to be closing this open part of the session. We've got to think about what we do with this in terms of next, because yes, we can fit it into one session, and that's slightly changes how I'm planning the next few weeks. That's my administrative headache. All that remains is to thank all the wonderful readers for all their wonderful reading. We will return. Goodbye from people and dogs everywhere.